Hey guys, welcome back to the Pine Box Perspective. So today I want to do another slingshot video, but of a different kind, okay? Something I'm not really used to. I've only tried it a few times. Now, I'm always talking about how, I try not to get too crazy with the term EDC, you know what I mean? Or I like to talk about an extension of your EDC. And the reason for that is I work for a living. I wear a tool belt, so I can't have all this stuff on me all the time, but I do keep a pack or, of some kind. In work vehicle or in my truck or something like that. But talking about slingshots, the smallest, most handiest thing that you're more likely to have it with you, I think. And so I made this little natural frame out of dogwood here, and I like it pretty well. I made a fork kit on it, so I had to kind of fix that, but it doesn't really matter since I go over the top with flat bands typically. Anyway, and I'm going to do a video on how we grew up making these when the weather gets right and the sap gets down. So today what I want to talk about is I've seen a lot of these on the internet and I wanted to try it. So I'm thinking, EDCing one of these frameless slingshots. Now I haven't, like I said, tried this a whole lot. I do kind of have a discolored knuckle from trying it just a few times that I've done it. And what I've done here is I've just taken some of the stuff that you can get from simpleshot.com. Okay, I think this is the 1842 size tubing, okay? And this come with some bands that I had gotten with a slingshot that I'd ordered from them. I think they come on clay bands, I'm not really sure. So it's a different style and it's a little bit smaller than the ones that are on my other slingshots that I have. But I kind of like it because when you put, I'm typically shooting a 3/8 sized bead in here. And so when you put that in there, you can see that it doesn't really, you don't have a whole lot of leather on top and bottom. I don't know if it matters so much, but to me, I think, wind drag or something like that. So anyway, I want to take a couple shots at my soup spoon over here. And I'm only shooting it like maybe 10 yards just for recording purposes, Plus, like I said, I'm not very good with this thing. So, but we're going to see how it goes now. I tried to figure out, watching other people do this, exactly how they hold it. I think there's a few different ways to do it. The best way I could figure out for myself is to go between my ring finger and my middle finger, like that, and I kind of clamp it down with my middle finger and all those, and I come in between here, okay? And, I'm a bigger fan of flat bands than I am these tube bands. Now, I have kind of talked junk about the wrist rockets and stuff that you get at Walmart. Those bands ain't really that great, and I didn't know if I was going to like this. I actually do kind of like it. They seem to be made a little bit better. You get a little more acceleration out of it, but it does kind of want to roll in your fingers, so it kind of takes a little bit of practice to get that right. I'm still under practice, so I'm not a slingshot aficionado, but it's something I did a lot as a kid and trying to get back into. And of course you want your tag ends of your rubber to be on the outside. So anyway, let's give it a shot, see if we can hit the spoon. And this is so weird to hold, I'm not gonna lie. Just under it. And I was thinking, if you want to EDC a slingshot, and this is probably the most convenient way to carry one, really. Now, wearing it on your wrist, you might end up with some abrasions or, it coming in contact with the sun and the rubber, but I mean, they're dyed, so that kind of helps with that, with the sun and everything. But I mean, maybe if you shoot, full butterfly and you've got an extra tubing on there, you might could fashion a tourniquet out of this if you want to get all gung-ho survival EDC about it. But I typically shoot like a half butterfly. There we go. Nice. So what I'll do is I'm going to get a small soda can and see if I can hit it and see if I can at least penetrate it, if not make it explode. All right, so I got a can of Seagram's ginger ale. It's one of the small, I think, like 12-ounce cans. So obviously it's a little bit bigger than my squirrel head spoon, as I like to call it, my soup spoon. But and like I said, I'm relatively close. I'm only about 12 or 10 yards or so out. Now, if you wanted to use this to hunt with, that's kind of why I'm trying this out. You can sometimes get within 10 yards of a rabbit. So we'll see if it'll do any kind of damage. Well, it may have went all the way through. Let's see. Oh yeah, I didn't expect that. So entry point and the exit wound. So yeah, I think it'd kill something, especially at that distance. So if I was actually going to try and hunt, now this is fun for just wearing it on my wrist and plinking and trying it out. It's a lot of fun. I would want something set up to shoot, you know, a larger diameter, maybe like the, I forgot what they have, 11 millimeter, something like that. I'm shooting 3/8 of an inch, so I want to step it up just a little bit. So I guess I'm pretty sure they offer a thicker band. But anyway, I want to get set up to where I can shoot a larger projectile, you know, with a little more power. And like I said, I like to shoot a half butterfly. So what that is I pull back to my other shoulder, and I know that that's about 40 inches. Okay. I'd like to shoot full butterfly with this setup all the way out. Now with my frame slingshot, I haven't tried that yet. You know, I've been kind of working with the half butterfly and it's working for me. This right here, I've noticed that when you're pulling it back, okay, and the reason I hit my knuckle, I didn't shoot myself in the knuckle, but what I did was I got some pretty bad band slap, or maybe it was pouch slap. But I had pulled out, left it away from my body too much. So the more I pull back here, the more likely it is to go around my hand. So if I do like this and come across my chest with it, hopefully that will kind of alleviate some of that, because it really hurts. But so anyway, what I'm gonna do is I made a jig and I put this together. So I'm just gonna cut this one loose and I'm gonna put it back together and kind of show you how I made it. They do sell equipment to do this kind of stuff. I just kind of used what I had and 2 nails and a board and a clamp and a drill bit, and set myself up a little jig and put it together, you know, maybe 10 minutes or so. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay guys, so this is the actual tubing, yeah, the 1842. Okay, and you can see on there, sorry, it says recommended for, I'm sorry, I can't see it, 5/16 or 3/8. And if you double it up, you can do 7/16 or ½ inch. I'm not going to be doubling it up and shooting it like this, so you know that'd be for a frame. But anyway, I'll drop a link in the comments to all the stuff that I'm using here. And so what I did basically to get my length, and they have ways of figuring out, you know, your draw length and a ratio for all that, but I was just kind of throwing the stuff together. So it comes rolled up like this. So what I did was I just pulled out as much as I could and kind of pinched it together. You know, took 2 pieces basically like this. This is a small loop. And I just kind of let some out of the roll here, and I pulled it back until it felt right. And then, you know, about how long I would want it and how I'd want the pull and everything. And I just cut it, but I added maybe an inch, you know, so you get like a ½ inch fold over, because you're going to trim your tag ends when you put it in the pouch. So that's pretty much how I got my length. But you know, there's ways of doing that if you guys want to do research on it. Now, so this is their amber belt, and this is typically what you would use from Simple Shot if you wanted to tie your flat bands onto your frame. And they do have a thinner material. I think they've got different colors, but there's a clear one too. And I think typically when you get slingshots from them, your pouch will be tied on with that material. But I looked on the website, it's pretty sure it said that this, you could use it for either or, and it's semi-stretchy, and it worked just fine for me. I haven't had any issues so far. Like I said, I haven't shot it a ton, but it tied on there just fine. I already had some of this, so you know, the amber belt here. And guys, all their stuff is relatively cheap, and that's why I like Simple Shot, because you don't have to spend a ton of money to have a lot of fun and potentially, you know, use it for hunting or other applications too. So let's put this thing together. So what I did was I took a clamp, okay, and I drilled you can do whatever, it was a 3/16 size drill bit, okay, and I made a jig. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pouch and I'm going to try to keep this one formed the same. So I'll go this way and kind of squeeze it through here. I think I hear Amazon in front of the house backing up. I might have to poke that through with the scissors. It's a little tedious, but there it goes. Just twist it in. Like I said, I left, I added about an inch, so you got relatively a ½ inch here. So I'm going to fold it over and tie it here. Okay. So with my jig, basically going to put my clamp on here. I'm going to leave room so I can tie it. And you don't want to pull it too hard because it will slip out of these clamps. You want to give yourself enough room to get a good bite on it. And what I did was I just kind of hooked this on the nail. And I didn't go all the way to the bottom of the nail because you want room under this so you have room to work on it. And just pull this out of the way. And then, I got my clamp upside down. Anyway, my whole side goes on the other nail. And how I kind of figured out where I wanted that nail to be was I just sort of pulled it back till it felt right. I didn't want to stretch it too much. You didn't want to do it too little either. Until it kind of felt like it was where it needed to be. And I made a mark on the board, flipped the board over, and drove my other nail through there. So we're going to lock that on there. And that's pretty much my jig. And I check it to make sure it's got a good grip on it and it's not slipping out the inside on the bottom. It looks like it wants to, and it might. We'll see. Okay. Now, first thing you want to do is take probably, 4 inches or so of this, and you're just going to cut that off. And what I'm doing is I'm basically just using their wrap and tuck technique for how you tie flat bands onto their frames and whatever else. And I'll use this to pull it through. You can use your thumb if you're good enough. I can't get the thumb trick, so I just use one of these as a tool. So we'll keep that handy. Now it doesn't take a lot of this stuff, so I'm probably gonna waste some. I usually do. I'm just gonna pull out about that much. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 of those because I'm gonna need 2. Just pull them about the same length. All right. So, as per their instructions, I guess I don't really need, you kind of need a base layer on this, but it's not the same as tying it to a frame. I hope you guys can see this. As much detail as I could possibly. Let's see. I don't know if that's any better. All right. So I'm going to leave one side longer, okay, and I'm going to go around a couple of times, pretty close to the pouch. And you can go around as many times as you want. I don't know what I did last time. I just kind of do whatever I think. What's that? 4 or 5 right there. You want to pull it good and tight. Actually, I don't think I pulled it tight. Let me re-wrap that. Okay. And you can put your finger up under here to kind of hold it in place when it comes around, and you can pull it and reach under and grab it. What I'm trying to do is make sure I'm capturing both sides up under my wraps. So I might pull this one forward and go this way a little bit and hold it down. Okay. All right, now, so I've wrapped it around, make sure you can see, several times. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that little loop that I made and I'm gonna lay it here with the loop on top. And the longer side that I had, I'm gonna pull it through the loop, and then I'm gonna wrap around a handful more times and pull that loop through, and it'll be secure, and I'll cut my tag ends off. Okay. So we'll fold this over. Okay. And I'm going to bring it around back and then come down this way towards me. The wind's blowing a little bit and this stuff's kind of hard to hold on to. Okay. Actually, no, I did that wrong. Forget about that. Sorry. Anyway, okay, you got your loop on there. You lay it on there. Wrap around the loop. There we go. About forgot what I was doing. So go around that loop itself really tight, however many times you can stand it. Okay, and like I said, this stuff stretches, and then when you release the clamp, your band is gonna come back and help you secure it even more. I'm gonna go one more time around there. Now, come through the loop. Okay, now I'm gonna secure my wrap inside, both of it. And this hand, keep my finger right here. I'm gonna grab the tag ends of my little loop tool that I made and pull it through. And you got to pull pretty good on it. And I'm gonna pull all that excess from my other tag end out. So you see it's pulling it, it's dragging it through. This is a separate piece here. Just like that. Now, snip these off fairly close. I like to leave a little bit. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. And release the clamp. All right. So you can see there's a, I think you can see it. Let me make sure. There's a small tag end right there, and the other one is right there tucked up under. You can see in front of my finger. Wish I had better camera equipment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip this off pretty close, but not too much. I want to leave a little bit. So when you pull it, if it does kind of pull any, it'll settle. Let's go about right there. So maybe like 1/8 of an inch, maybe. Okay. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. Now you take this, so this will be the inside of your pouch. These go on the outside. You just kind of whip it around and let your hold it out and let it relax and kind of follow it with your fingers, so that there's not really any twist in your tubing. Okay, and just kind of hold it in place. I know it's round and may not be that big of a deal, but then just come straight up with the other one. See if I can poke that through. You gotta be careful doing this. You don't want to damage your tubing, but this part right here is going to be cut off anyway. I don't know if I can work it through like the other one. There it goes. All right. I actually like this this pouch. I'll have to find out and put in the comments which one it is. I just got their standard ones on my other stuff. So I'm pull through about 1/2 inch, and we'll do this one. Let me see if I can set up the cell phone so you can get a better look at how I do this. Okay, I'll try this. Now on this one, I think the first time I stuck the nail through, this hole here, but it's got a hole right here too, so that worked out for me. One thing with the jig that I could have done different, if you're going to do different band sets and widths and diameters and all that stuff, is you could just drill a series of holes through here and just stick your nail up in whichever one you think you're going to use, so you get the tension that you want. Like I said, I didn't know if I was going to like this, so I just thought I'd just go cheap on it real quick, but it worked out. All right, so we've got everything lined up. Get the clamp on it. Now I try to keep these tubes stacked on top of each other because I get a better bite with the clamp. This clamp's not the strongest. I think that'll hold. Okay. I think it will hold. We'll see. All right, got my little loop material handy. This stuff's so thin, it's just really hard to hold on to. Okay. I try to keep it wide starting out. It does want to kind of roll up a little bit, which is fine. Perhaps you'll get more tensile strength out of it, I don't know. Is that the correct terminology? Let's see. All right, keeping it tight. The one cool thing about this, if you're worried about an injury, you know, or breaking, is unless you have an abrasion in it, this would probably be the part that's going to break, so it's going to go away from your face, I would imagine, hopefully. I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to try to go over the back end of that real quick. And make sure it's in there pretty good. All right, I think that'll be fine. Now, where's my little loop piece put together in here? All right, and we'll go around it. Make sure I don't get it confused. And this wrap and tuck technique, Simple Shot has videos on it. They're probably a lot better than mine. Okay, I'm gonna go around at least one more time. I like to do at least 3 when I'm wrapping my loop tool. Okay, I'll find out where it's at. I'm just going to pull it through. Make sure you guys can see. That did not work. I missed it. So we'll do it again real quick. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell what you're doing. I think that'll be fine for now. All right. You guys, this tubing, when you order it, I can't remember how much it costs. Like I said, I'll drop a link in there, but you get 10 meters of that tubing. So you get quite a bit of material. So if things don't work out or if you break something, you can just make another one. Oh, see what happened. I didn't catch it again. All right, get over there. It looks like the wind is blowing it right in my way. Well, the first time was not this hard. Anyway. All right, I think I got it now. Guess we'll see. I've got a loop and 4 tag ends to work with. It's really not that bad to do usually. This is a little bit more tedious than just tying onto a frame. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. All right, guys, that's all there is to it. I gotta snip that off. Like I said, about 1/8 of an inch on that. Whatever your preference is. That's on there pretty good. You can see I'm pulling on it pretty well. Okay. All right, guys, so let me know what you think about that one. It's basically a toy, you know, but it's fun. I can carry it around with me. Like I said, I work a lot and I'm busy with my family a lot. I don't get much of a chance to go out and practice with my frame slingshots like I like to. But, you know, I could wear this on my wrist. I could go to work. During lunch, I could plink at something, you know, just to get a little bit of a practice in. And honestly, I'm surprised I actually hit the spoon and the can and those few shots. What was that, like 3 or 4? So, like I said, I am relatively close. But anyway, honestly, if you wanted to have a slingshot on you, you really can't beat, carrying it that way. It takes up absolutely no room at all. But anyway, guys, give it a shot. Get out there, try something different. I did. I'm enjoying it. So we'll see you next time. Thanks.